Welcome to the first. You have a story. If you look back on your life, you've done things for the first time that no one in your family, in your town, in the country has done. This is Dr. Sandi. You have unknowingly paved the way for others without knowing it or even acknowledging it. This is where you tell your story so that those who come after you can walk in your footsteps to build their own firsts. Hey everybody, this is Dr. Sandi, and today I'm interviewing Dr. Paulette J. Evans of the Evans Efficiency Experts. They are a process engineering company that supports business owners in implementing processes and procedures. She's the first in her family and friends to register her business. You know, a lot of us have a side hustle, but she was the first to register her business. She earned a doctoral degree and got her Six Sigma Black Belt certification. She's an avid traveler and has traveled to all 50 states before she turned 40. And she also traveled to South Africa and was the first to do that as well. You can reach Dr. Paulette on Facebook at Paulette J. Evans and also on Instagram. On LinkedIn, she's also Paulette J. Evans. And on email, it's Paulette at evansefficiencyexperts.com. Welcome, Dr. Paulette. Hey, everybody. Today is podcast day, and this is the first with Dr. Sandi. And I have today Dr. Paulette Evans from Evans Efficiency Experts. Welcome, Dr. Paulette.
Hi, Dr. Sandi. Thank you for having me.
Anytime. As usual, we're here to talk about our first and how we impact the next generation going forward. Tell me a little bit about your business, Dr. Paulette.
Yeah. So I'm CEO and founder of Evans Efficiency Experts. We are a process engineering consultancy focused on helping people and organizations solve complex problems and create new solutions and impact lasting changes. We help you sustain the new behaviors that will make you more efficient and help you be your most productive self.
Give me an example of a project that you work on.
One, I work with, again, individuals, entrepreneurs, corporations, organizations. Most recent client was a nonprofit organization of about 500 women, and they needed help with streamlining their standard operating procedures.
So you go in and you help them put processes in place and procedures in place.
Yeah. I look at your current state and how you run every day. I kind of shadow you a little bit to see where your gaps and your wastes are. And then I go back to the drawing board with myself, figure out new processes for you, map things out, then I come back, present those things to you and help you implement them.
Do you do this on your own or do you have employees that help?
Nope, it's just me. I'm a solopreneur.
Oh, fantastic. That's a lot of work though. That's a lot.
It is. Well, I get to decide how many clients I want to have at any given time. So it's very manageable.
Yes, I'm in that same spot right now. I'm used to having a bigger company with employees. And now I'm doing stuff by myself. I'm like,
yeah.
What were you thinking? You need people to help you do this stuff, you know? Mm-hmm. But yeah, so can you think of some first, Dr. Paulette? Like, what do you?
I think so. So I will say, in terms of professionally, I am the first in my family that I know of to have a registered, entrepreneurship and business. So that's the first. I think I'm the first educational wise, doctor in my family. I have a doctoral degree. I'll say personally, I think, so again, I'm not really close with a lot of my family members, but I think I'm the first person to travel to all 50 states. I do love to travel.
I haven't done that. Oh my God.
Yeah. So I think I'm the first of that, first of few, I'm sure other people have done it. I just don't know who they are.
Well, did you decide actively you were going to start traveling to all these states and then?
I did. So
put your processes into place to.
Well, so the thing is, when I was in college, and this may be another first for this specific thing. I don't know if anybody else in my family has been to South Africa, but when I was in college, I was at Clemson University, majoring in electrical engineering, and the engineering department sponsored a trip to South Africa. We had to design, install, and test a water purification system at a clinic in an impoverished village in South Africa.
Wow.
So that shows up on the bulletin board in our main building. Electrical engineering was in Riggs Hall on Clemson University's campus. So it was in the bulletin board as you walked into Riggs. My best friend and I, we were both in electrical engineering. We were like, we have to do this. This sounds so awesome. And so we went on this 6-week trip to South Africa, and we spent a week and a half in the village with the water purification system, installing it, testing it out, all that good stuff. It was an amazing experience. And then we spent the other 5 weeks roughly in Johannesburg, Cape Town, Durban, Soweto. I mean, we were all over the country. It was just an amazing experience. So in that moment, I fell in love with traveling and volunteering. And I was like, I need to be able to do these things the rest of my life. And so fast forward, at some point, I think maybe before I hit 30, I was like, I want to see all 50 states before I hit 40. And I did.
Wow. Did you plan out the states that you
Yes.
were going to each?
Oh yeah, I am a very, very avid planner, especially of traveling. I don't have a travel person or agent. I don't even like other people planning things for me in terms of trips and flights. So I would always figure out where I was going or where I needed to be if it was a work trip, and I'd figure out how to check off other states while I was there.
Oh my gosh. See, I've always just said, I'd love to go to all the states, but there are some states, honestly, that if I don't have a reason to go there, I don't go. I'm going to Ohio for the first time next month.
Oh, okay. What part?
It's in Cleveland.
Okay.
And I'm only going there because I have a training class.
Gotcha.
It was like, Cleveland, I've never been to Cleveland.
Yep.
So there are places like, I think the Midwest.
Yeah, a lot of, they call them flyover states that people just, you never really stop there. But I've had some very awesome trips in those states. So,
really?
Yeah.
Well, I've been told Cleveland is not as like it's in my head, and that I really like it. So I'll try to do 1 or 2 things when I'm there.
Yeah, it's a cool city. Not in the winter. I've always hated being anywhere north in the winter. But Cleveland is really beautiful in June and July and August.
Now? Where are you located?
I am in Raleigh, North Carolina.
Oh, so it does get cold, but not too.
Yeah, no, we had a very mild winter this year, which I appreciate because I don't like snow, but I like the cool temperatures. I don't like extreme heat. So I'm good with like the 50s and 60s.
Okay, I'm in New York.
Gotcha.
We get the extremes.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
It's extreme in New York. The people, the climate, you know, it's June and you need a jacket today.
Gotcha.
Cool. It's just really cool outside.
Yeah.
Not hot, it's temperate, I would say. But it's comfortable, but I do like heat, and I don't mind the cold, but not snow.
Yeah.
It could just be cold and not snow. I'd be good with that.
Exactly. Well, one of the Great Lakes is sitting right there. Cleveland sits on that lake. So if you can get toward the lake, that would be not a waste of time. You will enjoy it. So
I'll take your word for that. I'll check it out.
Yeah.
How did you come to start your business?
So I've been doing process improvement and project management for corporations for 20 years. I did 10 years in manufacturing right out of college, and then 10 years in healthcare. And then my most recent healthcare assignment, the company merged with another company, and I was supposed to go over to the new company, but the guy I would be working for, we did not click. Like immediately, it was just not a match. And I was like, I'm not gonna like dial down or tame myself for anybody. So this is not gonna work. So it's probably not a good thing for me to go over there. And so I helped the other company wind down. I ran their wind down operations until the very end. And then after that, I said, you know what, I'm at that 2-year mark where I said 2 years ago, I need to just focus on my consultancy, and that's it. And I think God is reminding me that I said that 2 years ago. So it's time to do it.
No, congratulations. I mean, it's really hard. You'll find most entrepreneurs started out doing the thing that they're doing and they were good at it. And
exactly.
Then it's the same thing we did. You know, we worked in corporate, we did marketing, and I did analytics. We started a marketing and analytics company because we became known for that. The thing that I didn't know about was like the nitty-gritty business side, right? I learned a lot of it in corporate, but until you have your own employees and
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And that's, again, and that's another reason I'm still a solopreneur. So I'm like, I know doing it all myself is a lot, but I am able to, because I know how to manage time really well. And I know how to prioritize and concept, I can compartmentalize really well. So I know when I'm working on this thing, nothing else is going to distract me. But then if I hire people, then that's one more thing that I have to be in charge of. Like now I have to manage people and I have to manage what that looks like and the books and all. And I'm like, as a solopreneur, I find it easier to just be a solopreneur than to have staff.
Okay.
So that's just me. I feel it will create more work if I start hiring people. It'll create more work for me. So.
That's interesting because I usually find that it alleviates me some of the work. I send stuff to my accountant, I send it to my bookkeeper, but I use contractors. I don't have employees right now.
Gotcha.
But I need help. I know. I know when I need help, it's just I need help for that.
Yeah. And I've been the person, like my husband and I have been married for coming up on 20 years. And even before we were married, I always did my own taxes. When we got married, I do our taxes. I mean, so for me to hand it off to somebody would be more work for me.
Okay.
So that's what I mean. It's like the stuff that I know how to do is what's needed to run a business already. So I just kind of keep doing what I'm doing. Yeah. And I don't feel like it's like straining or anything on me because I naturally know how to do the things that I need to do that come from running a business. So.
And why did you get into efficiency?
So I was working as soon as I got out of college, I was hired on at General Electric. I was a senior project manager there for 5 years. And then I had an opportunity because everybody at GE at the time, every employee had to have a green belt certification, Lean Six Sigma green belt. If you wanted to go to black belt, that was an assignment, and it would be a 3-year assignment, and you'd work on particular projects to help you get your certification. And so after I finished out the project management, I was like, I want to do something different and still be able to work in the same field, same projects, same things I'm looking at, same manufactured products. I would just be at a plant location at one of the manufacturing plants, helping them streamline their operations to create and build these machinery pieces. So I ended up getting that role, got certified as a black belt. And once and any other black belt will tell you the same thing, but you have to be a black belt to feel it. Once you start looking at that, you can't turn it off. You start looking at every process, no matter where you're at. I go in the grocery store and I'm like, this doesn't flow right. Like, why is this here? I mean, so you cannot turn it off. It is literally, it becomes the only way you can look at things. And so
I know. I actually started out in analytics and doing processing, process improvements too. Mm-hmm. And I didn't get my black belt. I didn't finish my project. I got promoted out of my.
Gotcha. Yep.
So that never got done. But I was working in information management, and I realized I do have a process mindset.
Yeah.
So when I started the company, I was the COO, the one who put all the processes in place and made sure everything, from data security processes to everything. So I'm similar. We have a similar mindset in that I do like order. And my friends laugh at me because I will tell them, oh, we need to do this first, and then no, we don't have to do that.
Yeah. It's hard to turn it off. So for me at work, at home, everywhere else, I'm constantly looking at ways to improve things. And then that falls back on my project management, because once I figure out what the new process needs to be, I need to implement the changes. Exactly. And that's everything. Every time you make a change, it's a project. And so I manage that part of it too.
I spoke to another lady, Melissa Leon. Her company is called Efficiency Bitch.
Oh, wow. Okay, then.
It's a similar thing of getting business owners to be more efficient and putting all their stuff in place. You should check her out, or maybe I'll contact you too. But
love that.
She told me the name of her company. I was like, oh my goodness, I won't forget that.
No, not at all.
So do you do any mentoring, or how do you, now that you have all this knowledge and you've done these things this time, how do you hand that down to the next generation?
Yeah, so I'm typically either, because I do volunteer a lot, like I said, the South Africa trip just made me fall in love with volunteering. So I'm usually in my spare time volunteering for nonprofits or organizations that are focused on empowering women. And so I'm either or I'm kind of on my hands and fingers here, the times I've been either a keynote where I'm talking about being authentic and being unapologetically yourself, ways to set boundaries, how to be selfish in order to be selfless, just helping women prioritize their time and their mentality and their sanity, and then they can help other people. I am typically in a leadership position in these nonprofits. So yeah, I'm usually the go-to for different people reaching out for information. There's a group here where they host a lunch and unlearn session. And the last one I did for that was helping women unlearn all those things we were told as young girls. Like, no, you can't be the smartest person in the room. No, you can't speak your mind. No, you can't speak loud. And like, no, unlearn all of that. You do whatever you want to do, and it's okay.
I think I have to unlearn being loud.
Yeah, I love being loud. I was always loud, so I could never contain that. I mean, I was a person, I was sent to the principal's office a few times a month for talking and being loud. Like, I did nothing else. I wasn't doing anything else bad, but I was talking too much and I was too loud. So, yeah.
You know what? But that's not a bad thing. I mean, we think it's a bad thing when we're young.
Yep.
But it's not a bad thing because you have the confidence to speak up.
Exactly.
And there's no turning back once you get that confidence to actually, or even the question things.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes. Asking for what you want.
Is that? Well, that's my favorite question. And teacher, why is?
Yeah. I love asking why.
Yes, there's a great mindset. And so how do you think the world will be after you leave here? And what will you leave as your legacy?
I'm hoping it has a little bit more order. I hope I leave behind great processes that stay in place an endless amounts of time. That's all I want. I want anything I touch to still be functioning and working properly when I'm gone.
I think you should take on the electoral process.
Oh God, what a mess. I was like, I don't even need, the government is its own disaster. And I wouldn't even know how to begin to fix it, but I would love to. I'd love to just get dropped in the middle of DC and just like become like this tornado, like Tasmanian devil, and just tear up everything.
It has to start somewhere though.
I know.
It start somewhere, but where do we start? Who do we start with?
Exactly.
It is a giant thing, but that's the kind of thing I would love to get my arms around. Like
I know.
Figuring out whether it's state by state or you put something that they all have to implement at the same time, but it's such a mess. Every time someone says process, I think of like our electoral process.
Yeah. Our lack of processes.
So, well, yes, lack.
Yeah.
But that might,
I know.
take that on, Dr.
I'm telling you. I have thought about it because it is quite a mess up there.
Well, there are a lot of programs, a lot of STEM programs, especially for girls now. Do you participate in?
Whenever I can get, like if something comes across my desk and they say, hey, apply to be a speaker or apply to lead a workshop, then yes, I always do. Anytime I can share my knowledge with any group, I try to do that. Me
too. But I'm looking to be a paid speaker at some point.
Yep, same. Because I mean, for me, it's if I get paid for one thing, I can probably do 3 other things for free. So I want to be able to have that balance, but I can't always do all free. And I don't want to do all paid because my passion is also sharing wealth of knowledge.
We have the same outlook and the same passion. Yeah. Because I do a lot of speaking and sometimes, I have to travel someplace to speak. And if I do get 1 or 2 paying gigs, it would cover that travel.
Exactly.
Just taking from Peter and giving to Paul.
That's right.
No, but let me know if you have keynotes, particular keynotes. Is it on your website that if someone goes to your website, they can find?
I have a couple on there. I have a couple more I need to upload. But the blog section of the website is where anything that I have going on is located.
All right, perfect. Anything else? Any other firsts that you could think of? Because this recording, you can keep this forever and show it to your kids and your grandkids, which is really what I want. I want people to say, my mom, my grandmom, I was also on another podcast today where someone said, my great grandmother handed things down to me, and the things she handed down that's almost in my DNA is of fear. She was a very fearful person, and she handed that fear down to us, and we didn't even realize it. It's like you're afraid to do things. And she found out later that she was abused. And so that legacy of being with people that are not good for you was also handed down, like a generational curse practically.
Yeah.
And she's the first one to break that cycle and to get a divorce and not stay in something that wasn't healthy for her. So we do have things, we do impact the next generation knowingly or unknowingly. And, I just want to leave them something that they could say, my mother, grandmother, aunt, that did this, and we're very proud of it. And they probably won't even tell you while you're alive that they're proud of you.
Oh, yeah.
The minute at your funeral, and I say this to my at my funeral, you'll be giving me all these accolades, but you wouldn't even think about it now. So, but thank you.
Yeah. And I do believe in celebrating everything, large or small. I'm a big celebrator. So I will tell people to be your own cheerleader and celebrate yourself. You don't have to wait for other people to be proud of you or celebrate what you're doing. You celebrate yourself and everything that you get done.
You know what? I love celebrating too. Every year for my birthday, I have an all-girls birthday party.
Oh, nice.
I've been doing it for at least 30 years or more.
I love that.
But in my business, I don't take the time. It moves so quickly. Something great will happen. And I'm like, oh, that's what I was aiming for. So it happened. Let's move on to the next thing, right? So we don't always stop to smell the roses. And then later on, you'll look back. I was looking back at some of the things I did. And this was for Women's Day. I think I posted it. I was just looking through some stuff. And I realized I was on the cover of Money Magazine.
Oh, nice.
I was looking through, I said, oh, all these women, it's Women's Month. Let me look at all the women who've been on Money Magazine. And I was one of the first women to be on the cover of Money Magazine, right? There was another woman with me. We were both on the cover together. So that was the very first cover of any woman that Money Magazine and
nice.
And I was shocked. I was shocked because I didn't know that. I did wonder why fussing so much about us because they knew it and the people who weren't there knew it. But no one, it was just another cover to us and they never said it. And so I reached out and I started looking and they featured another woman 10 to 12 years later. The next woman appeared on the cover of the magazine. And that's when they mentioned, this is how I knew, they mentioned, this is the second woman to be on the cover of Money. And then they showed our cover, which was the first.
Oh, awesome. Wow.
And we don't even realize that we're making traction in something. So thank you. And I hope you can use this to make a little bit more traction for yourself.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much.
I'm the first.
Yes. Thank you for having me.
This is Dr. Sandi. Thank you so much for sharing your journey on the first, where no two stories are alike, even if the circumstances are similar. Let this discussion serve as inspiration for others to show what's possible, and more importantly, to produce seconds and thirds.